Good evening, everyone. This is Carolyn Muncie. I am with Ransomed Relics, and I am on here, and we're going to play tonight with some molds. Those of you, as you come on, let me know that you're watching, and also tell me where you're from, right? And let's see. So I think we are on here. We are on the Redesign page, and I'm seeing some people get on. Let me know that you're on. We are going to talk about molds. One of the greatest, to me, one of the greatest things that you can avail yourself to is the Prima Redesign molds. And I tell you the reason why is because as you work and as you do your pieces, there's going to be times where you think, man, I wish I had a piece that was just so ornate. Well, guess what? You can have that now without paying the big bucks, right? Because with all of the beautiful molds that Prima has given us, you guys, it's fabulous. As you come on, let me know who's on, okay? I am going to turn that off. So as you come on, let me know that you're on, but we're going to talk about some of the things that we have with the Prima Redesign molds. Tonight I'm working with a lot of florals, but they have so many designs, you guys. They've got so many borders, they've just got so very, very much that honestly you can't go wrong. Here's one of the ones, and it has got the, you can kind of see the roses down here, and you've got that pattern. You've got a plain, almost like a, this type of a pattern. You've got a rope looking type thing there. I mean, there's so many of them, you guys, that's just absolutely awesome. So then you've also got things that have embellishments where they can hang, you actually can hang down, right? And so you could do these on the sides of things, and I've actually got a couple of these made. And when I get done, I will list all of the molds that I'm using. But we've got quite a few florals. This one I absolutely love. It's just got big, beautiful florals. Let me see. You've got emblems, like if you want a Moroccan look, you guys, there's a Moroccan type look. This is sweet pea, and it just is beautiful. We're actually going to use this one tonight. So you say, well, Carolyn, I just don't know what to do with the molds. Well, you guys, let's work on that tonight, okay? And let's find some things that we can do with these molds, all right? And how maybe we can switch them around and make different patterns. So as you know, I always bring you guys up close and personal, but I want to show you what we're going to work on tonight. And I kind of have my molds laid out on here, so let me move those really, really quickly. And I'm going to show you the mirror that we are going to, I've already got it painted, and it's just a small mirror. And you can kind of see, you can see my kitchen, but anyhow, you can kind of see it's just a small, tight mirror. Hi, Pat, how are you? And we are going to embellish it tonight and make this mirror something beautiful. So I'm going to bring you guys up close and personal because we're going to be painting tonight. And we are, let me make sure that I can get you up here really, really good where you can see. And you're probably going to see the reflection in my mirror. And like I said, if you have questions, as I always do, and I'm going to have to adjust this a little bit, maybe bring it up just a tad. Okay, I think that's going to be a little better for me. So I am going to bring you guys down here on my mirror. I'm going to work right here on this segment right here, right now. And I want to show you guys some of the things that you can do with the molds. Now, we have got this mold, I think it's called the Sicilian Borders, I think, but I will check on that. But it's actually got this mold on there, and you can kind of see that it's painted, right? And you can use this in a variety of ways. You could put it around right here. You can make this whole thing just a border, right? And you could also put it like right here and then bring in some type of a floral and put a floral right there. You can see that that's already painted, right? And you could put a floral there, and then you could start with another border here, and you could border out your whole mirror. So we are not going to do that on live tonight, but who knows how this will end up when I get done, because it's just an adorable, adorable little mirror, and I want to make sure that you guys can see really, really well. So give me just a minute. And when you're going landscape, sometimes it really does make it to where it's very hard to see. So let me see if this goes up a little bit. Oh, there we go. I think I need my there we go. I think that's going to be better. There we go. Yeah, let me scoot you back just a tad. Get this thing. There you go. Now you guys can see better, I think. Can you all see? Hi, Sharon. How are you? So glad you're watching. You guys share this video with your friends. Give them ideas of maybe what they can do with their flea market finds. I think I paid about $3 for this little bitty mirror at a flea market, and I think it's turning out it's going to be absolutely adorable. I'm redoing my bathroom, and I'm going to be redoing it in this blues and maybe a little bit of purple, so I just kind of blended that in just to have a little better look. Okay, so first of all, we have got a big floral right here. I'm just going to lay it right there where you can see. It's a beautiful rose. I'm going to bring this up close to you guys, and you can kind of see I hand painted that to look three-dimensional, right? And you guys, when you do these molds, you don't have to paint them, you know, with one color. These are actually quite a bit of colors, and I used Impasto Paints, and I used Aubergine. This is Aubergine Impasto Paints, and we're going to do one of these. What do you guys think? Linen for my white, and I did raspberry pink for my pinks, and I added a little bit of lemon peel. If you have not tried your Impasto Paints, you would really, really enjoy them. I know that I do. So look, so here we go. Already, just by adding that mold right there, you could add that mold and be done, right? And it would just make a beautiful, very, very sedate look, because this is big, right? And it totally fills my space. I absolutely love it. You know, that's not what I'm going to put here, but I want to show you some of the different looks. Okay, so Prima has that mold available. And then you have got, Prima has a beautiful sunflower mold that, sunflowers are so popular, you guys. And the way that it comes in quite a few pieces. Well, if I was going to do this on this, I possibly would just maybe do almost a half. But let's say you wanted it to stick up over your mirror a little bit. You guys can see that, right? That it's sticking kind of up, and you can maybe put it to the side, you know, and add some more. Now this isn't quite painted like this is, you know, and I thought maybe I might show you how to let me show you these petals. you can see that it's got kind of a 3D effect, right? Because you're not just painting them just one color. You can do that, and that's okay, but I've got quite a few colors on there, and it really brings that, and the center just looks so pretty. And what I did was I used, let me see, I'm trying to find it. I used Impasto Paint, and it's the chocolate, dark chocolate is what it's called. And so there it is, and I just used my yellow with the dark chocolate, and you get a variety of looks, you guys. So I wanted to show you that really, really quick, how quickly you can do these molds. So this is my chocolate that I'm going into, and I might have to add some more. So I'm going to take this mold, and I'm just going to come in here, just add, and you might even want to take your finger and just kind of go up that mold, just kind of blend that mold in with the yellow. I've already got it, and you can just see already what a difference that made, right? And if you've got, let's see, did you use amazing resin or paper clay to use your mold? Okay, so let's talk about that for a minute. If I want something crisp, I use amazing resin. I prefer resin, and the reason why I prefer resin is the fact that it's so crisp. You get such a crisp looking mold. I'm going to go into my linen here, and I'm just going to go over the top here. Oh, wait a minute. I got to wash out my brush because it had the brown in it. That's all right. Anyone that are in my classes, you know I say there's no mistakes, right? Just happy mistakes. So I can just go in there and add a highlight right there, and I'm just kind of doing that sideways. And you can blend it, you can do whatever you want to do with it. The other thing that I love to do with my molds, and I do it almost every time, you guys, is, and you can tell mine is really, really used, but I use the Eternal Wax. Now, the time Prima carries a paper clay type mold or material, molding material, and you guys, you can use that with these too. When I use those are when I am wanting to get kind of an old world type look, right? So I'm just going to take this Eternal Wax and just kind of hit it a little bit. You're not going to be able to tell that on screen, but I can tell it big time here. And whenever it catches the light, I got this one painted, and I'm going to use a little bit of Eternal Wax because I want you to see the difference that these waxes make just by running them. I mean, you can see I'm not being real fussy with it, right? And so I could do that, you guys. I could do me a sunflower here and just have me a beautiful sunflower. I can make it hang over, like I said. You are the master of what you do, you guys. You are not, you do not have to follow any rules, and that's what makes this beautiful. You can lay these petals on top of here and get and do it in different ways and get you a really nice three-dimensional look there. As you come on, you guys, tell me that you're on. And I see Sharon on. Make a comment. If you've got anything to ask, just ask it. As far as the resin goes, like I said, if I want a crisp look, that's what I'm going to do. Now, I've already got some of these painted. This is the sweet pea paint or mold, and I think I showed that to you guys earlier. And I absolutely love it. You also get with this, most of the time, you guys, you get several things. So you get this little flower, here's the stem, you get this little flower, here's a stem, but you don't have to use everything you get in this mold every single time, right? And on this one, you get a left and you get a left and you get a right. So when you are doing a mold, now here's one that's just the resin. It's not painted yet. We will paint that together. So what I want to do is I think I'm going to allow this to go just like this and frame both sides. Hey, Pat. And I'm going to frame both sides here. Now you can have it hanging off. You can let yours kind of hang off. You don't have to, you guys. Just do, you know, I mean, yeah, you could do it like that. You can do it however you want to do it. And that's the beauty of these. And I want to show you how I'm going to paint this. You can kind of see this is just kind of a pale, 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 pale pink, right? And then you can also see the detail that is on that leaf that makes it look really pretty. So I didn't really have a brown, you guys, so I wanted to show you. I am using Azure Impasto paint. Here's in the blue, and I've got the yellow right here. So if you mix blue and yellow, you are going to get a green color. Now that is a little light for my taste for what I'm doing here. So I'm going to add in just a little bit of chocolate, and that is going to give me more of an earthy look to that. And let's say I wanted a little more green, then I add in a little more blue there. And you can add it in till you get it to where you want it to be. If you want it lighter, put in a little more yellow. So blue and yellow is going to make you a nice green. And just by adding a little bit of that brown in there, you can kind of see, and I think I want it a little more earthy. I want it a little more darker. You could also add a little bit of black, but I feel like the add in the chocolate makes it better. So you can just kind of see how I added that. So now I'm going to come here on my mold, and you want to make sure, you guys, you get the sides right. You want to get your sides really, really well. And I'm just going to add my green first. Just add in my green first, and I want to make sure that I get these sides really well. So I'm going to turn it and get these sides real well. And a little bit of the dark chocolate got in there, that's okay. That's going to give me that really nice look. I'm going to come back in here, maybe add a little more, making sure you guys can see. Maybe I'm going to add a little more chocolate coming up in here. And you can just kind of see, you guys. Hey, Ann. I do too. I love the sweet pea. It's just such a sweet flower, you know, and it just adds such a nice look. Now, let me see on my other one. So what I'll do now is I'm going to kind of let that dry, and we're going to lay this out as we go. Oh, I've got to do my pink, don't I? So for my pink, I'm just going to go into my raspberry pink. I'm going to add just a little bit of the linen because I want a much lighter look, right? So I went into my raspberry pink. You guys can use whatever you want to mix your colors. I just have these little bowls that I got at the dollar store. And I'm just going to mix a light color here. You can kind of see I'm just lightening up that pink. And these are acrylic colors. So what that does, the acrylic colors, and we're just going to add this right on here. We're just adding that sweet pink right there. And you could make them any color that you want. And that's the beauty of these, you guys, is you can make it any way you want it to be, right? I'm gonna make sure we get our sides well. Because once you get these glued on, you can come back in and touch them up. That's not a problem, but it's much easier to do it before you glue them down. And I got a little bit of that pink right there, so I'm gonna come in, wash my brush, come in with this green a little bit. You can kind of see as I was getting into that pink, it kind of got on my stems a little bit. So I just go in there and touch it up. That's the great thing about paint, you guys. There are no mistakes, right? So there we've got, that's how simple it is, you guys, to paint that. Hi, Debbie. How are you? So glad you're watching. Let me see. Anne said, do you like Impasto Paints on the resin better than Dixie Belle, or do they work basically the same? They work basically the same. Since I am on Prima, I am using Prima products. When I'm on Dixie Belle, I try to use Dixie Belle products, and sometimes the two meet, right? Because they are both awesome products. And I love them. I just wanted to, kind of got too brown for me, so I'm just going to go back in here to this green that I made. And I'm just going to add a little more green in here, into that. So you could see how easily, and I'm going to wash out my brush, and I'm going to go into this linen, and I'm just going to kind of go over these a little bit, simply because I feel like the other side is so much lighter than this. And I they don't have to match, but I do kind of want them to be in the same ballpark. So all I did was I lightened that a little bit by going into linen and lightening that up. So you can just kind of see. Now, I can hold these two together. This is still a little bit lighter, but maybe I might want to come in here and just, I don't think I want those any darker. I would rather lighten these than I would to bring that darker. And they're very, very easy to use, you guys, and to work with. Very easy to work with. Okay, so now we are going to go like this. We are going to go like this. So you can see right there, we have got twins, and they're coming up here, and I kind of like how they're positioned here. I like that. Now I could glue that in right now, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on in, and I'm going to look at some different flowers, right? So we have got these flowers, and I can't remember the name of these, but like I said, when I get done, I will list all the names of these. I don't have it right before me. So anyway, what I'm thinking, you guys, is I really like this look, and right here, oh, let me get you where you can see this down here. Okay, I'm really kind of liking this look. That would kind of frame this corner here. And whenever I glue this on, this resin is a little moldable. And I tell you how I do that. You know how when you're mixing resin, they tell you to do 50-50? I don't do that. I do 50 of, I do like the same amount, except for the hardener, I do just a tad less. And what that does for me is that allows this to be, you know how it gets like where it'll break and stuff? Well, this allows me to move. And when I'm saying a little, I'm talking a little as far as the ratio of what you need. And then I like this little guy, and I think this little guy looks really good right here, and I think I like that petal coming off of here. And that's what I like about these, you guys, is that you can make it however you want it. And then that would kind of frame the whole piece down here. It would kind of frame this, I think, and then that frames that up top. Now, if I wanted to later on, I could come in and fill this up with this border line. Can you guys see that? Let me tip this just a tad so you guys can really see that. Wouldn't that be pretty? And then when you pour your resin and you take it out, you've got a little bit of time to cut. You've got a little bit of time where it's a little more bendable. And then you can just cut it where you want it. So I think I may do that later on, but like I said, I didn't have enough right here to do that. Okay, so let's look at, let's see, here is another mold, and let me find that mold. And it's got all kinds of cool little flowers. I love these flowers. I don't know what they are. They kind of remind me of chrysanthemums or something like that. So, you know, that is this one, and you get a bunch of little flowers that are from that exact same mold, you guys. So I'm going to paint this one, and you're going to see how quickly that we can paint this. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my blue color, into that azure, and I want my stem to be green, right? So I will go in and do my stem, and I'm not going to do the center here. I'm going to leave, and I don't know if you guys can see the center right there. I'm just going to take, I'm going to get it, you guys, up close and personal. Now, when you do the resin, sometimes you might have, if you're not a perfect pourer, which I am not, you might have little things like this. Now, if you want to, if it bothers you, you can take scissors, and I did have scissors right here. I don't know what happened to them. I don't want to take the time to go there, but anyway, you can take scissors, you can cut that out. This is going to be flat. I don't think you're going to really be able to see those little places, and besides that, these are going to be layered, so I'm not going to worry about it, you guys. And that's the forgivingness of resin. But I would suggest, if you're using resin as you're working, that when you use it, that you would cut those off before they dry, because what happens is after they dry, they're a little harder to cut off. But when you make the mixture like I make the mixture, they're a little more pliable and they are a little more easier to cut. I'll show you the difference. Okay, so this is one, and it's hard. See, I can't bend it. This one is hard up here. I can bend this, but let me show you one that is real bendable. I learned, look at that. So that means I can bend it, you guys. Hi, Lee. I can bend it, you guys. Look, I can bend that. So that means I could come in here and I could set that here, and I could make that work just like this. So it could dip down on my picture or my mirror if I wanted it to. That is the difference between making a 50-50 and a 49. I mean, it's just a little tad. Now look at this one. This one is so moldable, you guys. It's so bendable. And you still got form, and you still got your mold to work with, whereas I've got another one here that is the same pattern, if I can find it. And it's a see, it's not bendable at all. And like I said, I just kind of happened on that, and I thought, ooh, I kind of like it. It doesn't change your molds at all. it just helps you. Okay, so I'm going to go into there, and then I'm going to go into Aubergine, that really pretty purple that we have. And I'm going to add, make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to add that purple. Let me wash out my brush. I'm going to add that purple in here and do that center. And then I might just want to come in here and let me see. So I might want to just come in here and work a little bit of that purple into these dark crevices. I'll use a different paintbrush. And I'm just using just a little, you guys, just to give it a little bit of detail. And that's what this is all about, you guys. It's about the detail. I don't care if you're painting a canvas, if you're painting a piece of furniture, if you're painting a mold, it's all about details. It does not matter what you are painting, in my estimation. And you can just kind of see how pretty that purple works in there. And then we want to come in here and we want to grab a little bit of that green that we made. And we're just going to add that. Always turn your molds so you can get all the sides, right? Because you want all the sides of your molds. And that kind of came out a little more brown than that green, but it doesn't matter. Probably, to be honest with you, a lot of that stem is going to be covered. So now that we've got that laid on there, I'm going to come into the linen and I'm going to get just a little bit on my brush, right? I've got just a little bit on my brush. And I'm going to take that and I'm just going to let it do what it wants to do across this rose, or across this, whatever this is, chrysanthemum, whatever it is. And I'm just going to let it just tip the edges. And you can kind of see there again, you've got more detail, right? Less of, well, no, it's the hardener. If I'm not mistaken, Sharon, the A is your first one and B is your hardener. It'll say on there hardener. I just do just centimeters less of the hardener, which the hardener is what gives it its rigidity, right? So if you do just a tad bits, you know, less of your hardener, and you'll have to work with it to get what you want. I kind of know where, from my measuring cup, what I need, and there you go. Now once that dries, if I wanted to, I could come by and I could tip that with my that looks pretty there, you guys. Let's turn this. So let's see what we're going to do here. Now I've got some of the things. I wanted to show you a little bit how I paint them, and if we have more time we'll do a few more, but I have some of them painted, you guys. Now I suggest, and I'm going to pull this down here where you guys can really see. I suggest that you lay out your pattern the way you want it before you glue it on. And I really like that. Now that's really got some gold, and then I might want to put one maybe right here, and that's okay if that hangs over there, you know. And then I might want to do, let's see how that looks right there. And see, that's very moldable. So because that's moldable, excuse me, I can glue that and make these edges really stick. And that's what I love about this. And then maybe I might want to come down here, and this one is maybe going to overlap your flowers. Don't do them just flat. Overlap them, right? And then here's a pretty one. This is that same pattern, but look, it's done in almost a melon type color. And maybe that one would look good here. And the great thing, you guys, is and here's a smaller rose, and that might look right there, almost like it's part and parcel of this flower here. Now, let me see. I was thinking I had a few more. Okay, so we also have in many of our molds, we have leaves, right? So you're going to want to make sure that you add some leaves into your project. We also have, let me see if I can find it. We've got little butterflies, you guys. You might want to put a butterfly there, of course painted. Then you've got a little bee. You could add a bee right there and paint it right there and add that in, or you could even set them on a flower. You know, once you get them painted, you could set them on a flower. You can set them anywhere that you feel that you want him. And I think I want this one like it's coming down here. And then I've got this leaf painted. This is the leaf, and I'm just going to do a little bit of eternal wax, right? Now, and then maybe that would lay really well there. Okay, so, but I still feel like we're missing a few areas. Now, I could lift that up, bring that in a little bit like that. Fill this area up. I like it that the two blues are kind of together or you know, opposite sides. I like it that the two golds are kind of like that. I like it that those are together. But you guys, what I do is I go through and I make a plethora of whatever I'm working on. Here's a really pretty rosebud. Here's another leaf, you guys, a different type of a leaf. I definitely think I need a leaf right there, and I will paint that and put that right there. Here's another leaf, you know, and then that will, by doing that on my design, what I've just done is I brought stability to this, right? I brought stability to this flower because that flower is going to lay on these leaves. And by layering them like this, you get a lot better look, I think. That's my personal opinion, even though sometimes my opinion doesn't count, but it is my personal opinion. Oh, so sorry, I kicked it. I kicked it with my foot. Goodness gracious. Sorry about that, you guys. Hey, if you guys don't mind, share this video. Let your friends know and see what you can do with these awesome products. And so you can kind of see, you guys, I had a night of just doing a bunch of flowers. And by doing that, I open up myself that when I'm ready to create, I have many things to work from. Here is one of these embellishments that I absolutely love this. I just do. I mean, if you wanted to put one on either side, let me see, I'm not for sure. Here's a different type of embellishment. If you wanted to put one on either side of that, you could, you know, just to kind of give it an embellishment. You guys, there are so many awesome things. And I found a leaf that is already painted, so you can kind of see how that looks like right there, and I can paint that if I want to. I've got this little rosebud here, which I've got that painted right there. There are so many florals. I love this little rosebud. Let's paint that one, and let's get him or her, whatever she is, and let's see what color we want to do. gonna go into that orange, and I'm just gonna let a little bit of that orange come through there on this little rosebud. Now you could do this rosebud totally green and it still look really, really good. And then while that orange is wet, I'm gonna come in with the yellow and add just a little bit of yellow to that rosebud. Then I will come into my green that I made, getting that wet. Maybe I might want to make just a little more of that. Maybe I want a lighter green this time. A little lighter green. You can make whatever hue you want, and then I want you to see this. I'm just going to add that green into that rosebud and bring that green on down here, making sure that I cover all my sides, right? And then as they dry and stuff, see how cute that little rosebud is? And maybe he wants to stick out. Maybe he wants to stick right here and come up over that. Doesn't that look pretty? And so you can just see as you layer and as you layer and as you work, you are just going to get such a beautiful look. Now, you say, well, Carolyn, what are you going to glue it with? Here's what I glue it with. This might be kind of backwards for you, but it's called Tight Bond, Quick and Thick. I love this stuff, you guys. I absolutely, absolutely, absolutely love it. And the reason why I like it is it goes on well. It really holds well, and it doesn't run like a lot of your adhesives do. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to paint this leaf. And we'll stick a few of these on. How's that? Just so you can kind of see. And you can take, the other thing I want to tell you too about, and I don't have it hooked up, but let's say you have a very rigid mold. This one's very rigid. So if I get a blow dryer, you guys, and I allow a blow dryer on this and just blow it dry, either that or even a heat gun, this will again become pliable. And then as it cools, it will become rigid again. So that's another way of bringing some, I really like this one too. Let's put him in. I like the leaves, you guys, because I feel like the leaves really set your pieces. You know, it's not, it just kind of sets it apart, I think. So we are going to use this. And get that painted. Make sure, look at your sides. Always look at your sides. It's a lot harder to put color on your sides once you have it glued on than it is when you don't have it glued on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of gold. Can you see what that does? Prima also has many colors of the gilding waxes. And I've got some here. This one is really pretty. It's a green. It's a really pretty green. And I love this one. This is probably one of my favorites. And it is called Metallic, let's see, Wax Chrysera. And it's the Art Alchemy line. And it's Indian Pink is what it's called. This one is absolutely beautiful. And I've used that on some of my flowers. And then you've got rose gold, which almost, it almost looks kind of brownish, but when you get it on, it's just really, really pretty. And then you've also got a purple. Now we could take purple, this purple wax, And we could come in here and highlight this, kind of just rub that over here and give this kind of just a little bit of a different look. Doesn't that look pretty? So let's stick him back into our works, right? I want him up there. So there we go. We've kind of got our florals laid out, right? So let's kind of take these off now, and I'm just going to use a little bit of this Tight Bond, and I'm going to show you. I'm just going to put it on the back here, and you can kind of see how thick that is. Can you see how thick that is? It's not running. I'm just going to kind of tap it. Okay, and then I'm going to position this where I want it. I really like it kind of hanging off right there. And then you can take a baby white or something wet and just kind of wipe that off right there. Wipe it off. It should dry clear, but I don't like it looking like there's a bunch of glue on it, right? So let's do this side, and you can just kind of see how easy I'm doing it. You guys, let your imagination be your guide. If you get that little small voice saying, ooh, what would that look like? Then listen to it, because probably you're going to love what it does, right? And so I'm going to just wipe that off a little bit. That's going to dry and be perfect. So you can see how easily that was done. Okay, so you say, you can even take a picture of what you've created so you do not forget what you've created. You can take a picture of it, put it on your phone, and then you can look at it while you are laying all of your pieces in. Then that way you know exactly what goes where. So I know that we have these here. I think I kind of want them up a little bit, maybe more like here, because now whenever I glue that in, you guys, I can take, I'll probably put something else on first. Let's put this blue one on. I want him to kind of be up a little bit coming off of that, I think. And then here, I could glue that and then stick this down and tape it. And whenever I taped it, that would keep that down, but then I'd have to let this dry. So I can just turn the stem. I can still get the same look just by turning the stem, right? And now sometimes they're going to want to lift up a little bit. All you got to do, you guys, is just kind of pull them like this. Let them settle down, and you can, like I said, get you a blow dryer, have you a blow dryer or a heat gun ready, because it really will be perfect if you use a heat gun. So I'm going to set this guy right there. I want him coming off of my mirror a little bit. And also, when you have a blow dryer or something, what happens is you can kind of set those pieces and set that glue a little quicker too, where it's not, you can see kind of how it moves around. But that is it, you guys. That is as simple as it gets. And I think I'm going to want that one right there. Right? So let's put this feller. This little gal is going to go right there. And like I said, you know, you just hold it a little bit. And this one is very pliable. So she is going to stay down really well, but yet she fits well there. That's the reason why I like making them a little more pliable. So you guys, we are just about up with our time, and I just want to let you see how easy this is to change that plain mirror into something that is beautiful, right? So you can just kind of see down here these sweet florals there on the side. Okay, so let's see. Sue says, I discovered last week you soften the resin molds in the microwave for about 10 seconds. Yeah, you can do that, but I have to run well, right now I'm in my kitchen, but I have to run all the way. I'm normally in my workspace. But if I do that, then I have to run all the way in the kitchen. So I find it a little easier just using what I have at hand, which is just my blow dryer or my heat gun. So you can do both. Isn't that great? Because what happens is that it totally makes everything workable and bendable, and you get a awesome look, you guys, with that. Now, I haven't tried this, but I will. See, now you can see. Do you see how bendable that is? So I can even take this, you guys, and I can make a corner just like that, look. And then whenever I would glue it on, I would tape this until the glue dried, because you can kind of see if I let go, it kind of wants to go back, right? So if I glued that on like this, and let's say I was going around a corner and I didn't want to cut something. So, well, let me pull you guys down here. I thought I was done, but let's just look at this real quick and then I'm done. They will be kicking me off anytime, right? So this is my corner, right? And you can kind of see how it is. So I can take this, bend this up, and you can see I've made a corner. I've made a corner molding just like that, right? And then I would tape that, you guys. I would tape that and allow that to dry and then take my tape off. And then I'm not cutting around that corner if I wanted to do that. That's a good way to do that, right? You can also, if your piece, you can try it if you heat it and see if you can get that much bendability. I'm not for sure. But you can see right there how great that is. Because, you know, that's the one thing is sometimes when you look at the corners and you see those cuts, you know, I mean, you can always put them in. Okay, you guys. I have talked enough. Haven't I? I'm so glad you joined. Carol says, where can you find the sunflower? Carol, it is a Prima mold. You can see right here, and it's really cool how they created this one was because it's got these petals, and you can just create your sunflower with your petals. So it's really kind of a cool mold, and you can get that at Prima. Now there should be, you can also go on the Prima site and you can see and look up retailer and find a retailer close to you and support your local retailer of Prima, right? You could also go on Amazon. A lot of stores on Amazon carry Prima. So you guys, that's it for me tonight. I am on here every other Friday of every month, you guys. So we will be doing more stuff, and we will be delving more into our Prima products, and we'll just kind of have to see how much we can get in, right? So I'm thinking, and I hate to even say, but I'm thinking my next one is the 14th, because this is the end of the month, skip a month, and then the next. So I'm every other Friday night, you guys, right here at 7 o'clock. So thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you have a blessed weekend. Enjoy your family. Get out and do something fun, and keep creating, keep painting, and using these awesome products. So I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.